Okay, no sound.
Okay, 𝗪𝗪𝗁.
Okay, what about now? Everyone, can you hear me? Okay, good now. Okay, so if you don't mind, let me repeat again. Okay, so do you still remember me, everyone? I just got a new haircut. Okay, so my name is Jeffrey. If you remember me, I'm the host of 𝗪𝗪𝗁𝗲. So do you feel this place is familiar too? I was here a few months ago. Okay, with their professional. With the manager. Yeah, with the manager Samuel, okay, we discussed a little bit about the international schools topic, and today our topic is how to motivate our children to focus on their study. So, for myself, I encountered a problem with my nephew. Yeah, when I was trying to teach him, I actually follow one problem: social media and also the phone. Okay, it could be like killing the child's studies. So not just this one. Every time I ask him to study, he is like not paying attention at all. So it could be hard for you if you are encountering this problem. So right here, I will no longer talk about this, okay? Because today we have a professional teacher to solve your problem here. So right here we have our Miss Rachel, the head of Stellar, early years. So right here. Rachel, if you don't mind.
Hello everyone, I'm Rachel. So thank you, Jay. I am from Stellar International School and currently I'm based in Stellar Early Years. So over here we have little children aged from 3 and until 5 years old. So I hope that we are able to solve your issues over here by giving you some advices that we practice in our school. Yeah, so just now you mentioned that your nephew was having issues with study, and then our topic today also like why my children don't like study.
Yeah.
So actually this is a very, very serious issue that is actually triggering my self-alarm because learning itself is actually very important. It's actually take place in most aspect of our children's life. So imagine if let's say your nephew is only age 4 or 5, and then what about when we move on to primary? What about when we move on to secondary? What about if continue all the way to tertiary education? This learning experience is going to follow him throughout his entire life, even when he come out from his workplace. So if he is already losing the momentum and losing the interest since such a young age, so there must be something that we have to really look into it.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we have to solve the problem earlier. So in order for us to avoid something could be like getting worse in the future.
Yes. So over here, I will always break down into a very fundamental issue. Before we even go into like how are we going to motivate them, how are we going to teach them, what methods are we going to use, but actually there are a fundamental issue over here. Why are they not doing that? Why they don't like to study, why they don't focus, why are they not paying attention? Yeah, so there is a lot more interesting reasons that we are able to discover from here. There is always reasons behind the children's actions, which I always reminded my team, I always reminded my teachers. I have a very, very interesting incident to share. So one of my children in the 3 years old class, he went to toilet. So it took him very, very, very long time. And just until we cannot wait already, we go over and check. And the moment we went in, and we saw there are a lot of tissues on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you are parents or you are teachers, if you encounter issues like this, what is your first thought?
Okay, so what is your first thought? The audience, okay, you may comment below. So something like this happened, how would you solve the issues? Yeah, what was your first thought? So for myself, I'm not a father, to be honest. Okay, so
it could be your nephew.
Yeah, could be mine. Yeah, so I'm an uncle. So for me, what is on my mind was like, okay, maybe the kid just wanted to make fun. Yeah, maybe to explore themselves. Yeah, this is my point of view. Yeah.
it will be very easier for us to just straight away jump into the conclusion saying that why are you doing this? You know, it's going to take so many time for me to clean up. Yeah, we
Also
just
the
think
parents.
of the consequences after all. But do we really go down to the children's level and to understand what is the intentions behind that he is doing this?
Yeah.
So me and my team we went over to check from the children like what happened here, why is there so many tissues? So this children is actually international students. So he's from India with a very limited language that he has. He's trying to explain to us saying that the floor is wet. He don't want his friends to get hurt, so he's trying to take the tissue and want to dry the floor.
Oh, what a kind person.
Yeah. So he is actually being caring and being loving towards his friends. But what is lacking over here is that he don't have the skill set because it's a toilet roll. So when he pull, it will just continue coming down. But he don't know how to tear off the paper to let it stop. So what is missing here is the skill set that is going to equip the child to help himself to solve the problem. So let's go back to the questions, the fundamental questions. Why our children don't like to study? Why are they not paying attention? Why are they not focusing? There could be a few reasons behind. What I can think of? Is it the homework or the work that they are going to do is too overwhelming? Or is too hard that they don't know how to do? Or it could just be, probably they're just very tired. After a long day of school, they just want to get a rest. And after that, once they refresh themselves, they are able to continue to move on again. So what's the reasons behind?
I got you. So actually the reason could be like depends on individual. Everybody is different, right? Somebody like you say maybe they couldn't just focus, maybe they were just tired, and somebody could be like maybe got distracted. Yeah, there's so many reasons behind.
Like what you say, they could be distracted by what about the things around them, the environment. Do we have a conducive environment for them to do their homework even though they're at home? Yeah, so everything we have to boil down to, we go down to the children's level and then we listen to them, what is their needs and how are we going to solve that by underlying what is the issue, and then from there we are able to set boundaries. So you can discuss or negotiate with your nephew, what about after you do this, and then we are going to move on to the next agenda. Yeah, there are many solutions that we can think of, but all we need is that for us, the adults, it's either you are teachers, you are uncle, or you are the educators, you are the parents. We need to take another one more steps to approach them and to listen to them.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand that. Like, okay, so everybody can just to try to understand the reason behind, and also try to talk to your children, and also if they encounter some problem, maybe they go with them, like teacher Rachel's mentions. So everybody right here, maybe if you have any questions to you're confused or like you don't know how to solve it, to help to motivate your child in the study, you can always put your questions here, as we have a professional teachers right here to give you a good advice. So Rachel, other than this, right? Can I know like, okay, since you are mentioning about the children's, we have to understand them, right? So for example, right, for mobile phone itself, this is a thing that we couldn't avoid in our daily life. Yeah, so as I know, you never with the kids, which is all right, but sometimes it could happen like maybe you are not around how to actually like how to, can I say, control time limit to play phone in another way, because most of the parents, they are so busy at home. What do you have? What suggestions do you have for us on this?
Actually, for this, right, it's already reached to the second level, but what about we looking backwards? This actually requires a very high self-control from the kids, that they are able to, they have to control themselves even though there is no one around them.
I see.
Yeah, this is actually could be very challenging, and in order to achieve that, we have to set the fundamental right. So what are the rules that we lay out to the children? What are the boundaries has been set? And other than the phone, is there any other options for the children to play? Because why they wanted to play with the mobile phone? First of all, and the only reason, because it's fun. and they need something to kill time. Same goes to adult. We are holding our mobile phone all the time. We are going to kill our time. Same goes to children. And where are they picking this up from? It's definitely from the adult. I remember one of the phrase that my colleague Samuel mentioned, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah, so whatever that they learn is actually picked up from the parents. If let's say today you want to culture good habits in your child, it has to start from you. So the parents, like what you mentioned, probably we are busy, probably we are being occupied with some other things, but if let's say we are going to so-called control our children, first we will have to sacrifice some of our time, then we have to set a boundary, and then we have to spend time with them, so they know where are you coming from, and we can give them some criteria. Alright, so now we are going to play for 5 minutes, and after that, what is going to happen next is that I'm going to bring you out for an outdoor play. Or you can say, okay, we are going to have a TV time for about 15 minutes to half an hour, and then what's next? So you are going to have something that is before and after. This is what we call a sandwich model. So something is before, something is after, so that the interval for the activity is going to be shorter and shorter. And they are going to find something that is more interesting other than the phone.
I see. So I got your point. For my understanding, what you suggest is about like we are not just disciplined, we are not just let them to be disciplined at school, but at home they have to be more disciplined as well, right?
Yes, correct. So the boundaries it's not only in school, but at home also. So fundamentally, parents need to know what is the needs for the children, because during that time the child has nothing to do. So the only thing and most convenient way is to get the phone and to play with it, and it's going to have so much fun with that. So they continue to do that. So in order to replace that, you need to have something else to occupy their attentions. That could be fair. Like that's only like a fair play.
Probably some puzzle, probably some teaching materials with the fun toys together will be okay, right?
Yeah. So I will be touching that later on what are the activities that can be done, even though it's at home with very minimal preparations needed.
I got you. Okay. So I saw questions from our audience. So right here, okay, she has the same name as you, Rachel. Okay, so Rachel is also asking how to find out the root cause. Maybe she's mentioning about not focusing.
Yeah, how do we find out the root cause? Actually, it requires a lot of practice from the children. Like we will have to go down to their level and communicate with them. But the fundamental is the children needs to feel safe. In order for children to open up, to tell you that what they really want, they have to feel they are in a safe environment. They will not be punished or they will not be challenged first. Then only they will be open up to you. So over here in our school, right, we don't practice punishment. So a lot of like our visitors, the moment they come into school, we don't school our kids and we don't have punishment system. So they will ask, what if your children misbehave? What if they are throwing tantrum? So we give the children, what we do is we will give the children a cool down period. So during that period of time, we will sit with them. Until they calm down already, we will ask them, are you ready to talk? So why are you doing that? If let's say it's with my 3 years old, they are not so strong with their vocabulary. So I will be asking them, is it because you are upset? Is it because you are not happy? Is it because you are angry? So they will be telling me their feelings first.
Okay.
Then I will ask them, who is the one who making you angry, or who is the one who making you upset? Then they will continue to figure it out. And so this is like a practice. This is what we do for 3 years old. And when they come to 4 years old, they will naturally come to you and say, I'm not happy because I don't like to do this work because it needs to do so many things. Or it can go down to the extent that the children will be coming over and tell us that what is the things that they want. So from there, we don't want to overly empower our children by saying that whatever that you request, I need to give it to you. We don't do that, but we do empowerment. So how it works is that we give the children certain amount of authority. So for example, in your nephew case, I like to quote his case. So if let's say today he don't want to do homework, so we can ask him, you will have to finish homework because this was being issued by your teacher. If let's say you didn't finish it, then tomorrow, what is the consequences going to be? So do you want that to happen? If no, then what can be done? I can do the homework together with you, but I need you to focus first, and we can choose what do you want to do after homework time. Or we can even choose, over here in my class, right, my children likes to lay down on the floor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I let them choose. Do you want to do the work on the table or chair, or you want to do it on the floor? So they will make their own choices, but ultimately, I still achieve my goal because they still get to complete the work.
Yeah, but at least they get to choose something that they were willing to do that and focus on that thing they want.
Yes, and they will feel like they have a sense of authority. I have the power to make some choices for myself.
They feel good.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good way. Okay, I will try. Okay, I will try it. Okay, when I get back. So, okay, what I like Rachel is she will share something like really skillful and also detailed, with our audience. As you can see, like right just now, okay, she mentions one thing like step by step we are going to ask the questions. Okay, what's the are you happy? Are you angry? You know, right? 3-year-old child they don't have much vocabulary in their mind, so they will just say I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry. Okay, start with that, and then the second step, okay, go to the questions. What is bothering you? Who is the one cause you have this feeling? Oh, this is a good point. Whoa. You're really professional. I love
That's what we do together with my team over here.
Okay, then there's a good practice. And then I think this is not just can be applied in school, but at home, all the parents, you can try to practice this. Since everybody, you love this teacher, right? I believe so. So right here, everybody please share this slide up. So many people from the Facebook, okay, from your family's member or friends, they can actually, okay, see this kind of thing and help them, okay, in motivating their children in the study. So everybody share this live out and also help us to click the like button on our both page. 𝗬𝗊𝗁𝗁 and Stella. So right here, Rachel, I will pass the time to you again. Okay, maybe you can use mine first. Yeah.
Alright, so just now I mentioned I have some important tips that I would like to share with the parents. So what can be done if let's say you wish to motivate your children's learning? So I break down into 3, and it's actually stages by stages. You have to complete number 1 first, then you only can move on to number 2 and then number 3. So first, we will have to focus on children's learning abilities. So what is learning abilities? We have to understand that every children is different with their strength and with their weaknesses. So with this saying, right, every children is having different learning pace. Some of the children could be fast, some of the children could be slow. And this is not applicable to all areas, but on a selective one. So with the areas that is their strength, it could be pretty easier for them to pick up. If let's say it's their weaknesses, it could be taking more or longer time for them to pick up the skills and for them to acquire that. So for parents, right, we have to be very, very sensitive. Same goes to teachers. We have to understand what is our children's learning abilities. So what is the strength of my child? What is the weakness of my child? With that, right, then only we can tag along with helping the children in learning. One of a very, very significant example will be while we are learning languages. So one of the parents actually comes to me and then say, you know, my child, they can only speak in English and then there is no other languages, and we are all Mandarin speaking, we are all Chinese, we have to know some Chinese, right? So the first question I always check with the parent is that, do you have this language to be spoken at home? So the parents keep quiet. Because they didn't practice that, and the children don't have the environment to be exposed to, and this is a very crucial factor that affected their learning abilities. So actually, nurturing is very, very important. By creating the environment for the children, then only we can help them to learn.
I see.
Yeah, like what we said just now, when your nephew is not paying attention, what is the possible distraction that could be in the environment? What is the environment that is causing him to not focusing? Yeah, so by identifying the learning abilities is one of the very, very fundamental steps if let's say we want to move on to motivating our children in learning.
I see. Okay, good to know. So everybody, so you got a point. So everybody, environment is the key, and also what she mentions. Okay, so if everybody you have a questions on this topic, you may put comment below here. Comment your questions here. So Dr. Rachel, teacher Rachel.
Miss Rachel, they call me
Miss
Miss Rachel.
Yeah, Miss Rachel, will answer you.
I believe that often like parents will come and questions like, why the other kids in the classroom they are able to do it, why my kids is not able to sit still and not able to listen. I believe that when we are having online class, this will be very, very obvious because parents get to sit down together and then see from the screen why my child keep running around and the other child can sit still and to focus. And this is actually this is actually a very, very big no-no. Yeah, over here we actually give a very, very strong advice to parents that do not compare your children together with other children, even though they are in the same age group. Whatever that can be done is that we will refer back to the developmental checklist. As long as your child is following the checklist and then they develop on par, and then there is nothing you need to be worried about it. The only difference could be temperament, it could be the characteristic, and the most important one is the environment. All the children, they are raising up in different environment, so that is a very, very big play game that make the changes.
I see. I believe so. Like I am actually like teaching English for my part-time job as well. So I heard someone like they have an environment like everybody loves to sing in the house. So the child automatically he knows how to sing. Okay, and also someone's like their father behaves like maybe a little bit rude, that will cause the kid maybe come out with another attitude as well.
Yes,
so I believe the environment is really a big point.
So with that saying, then once you are able to identify what is your child learning abilities, then you already completed the first step in order to move on to helping them in the learning process, right? So what about the second one? Once you already identify your children learning abilities, you already know what is the strength, what is the weaknesses, what is the pace in your children learning. The second one will be that learning interest.
Learning interest.
Yeah, what is the things that is going to catch your children's attentions very easily? One very simple example, all the boys they like cars. So
yes,
if let's say
definitely.
Today the learning activities you want to teach them about numbers, the examples that you are giving it's related to cars. It will definitely get their attention very, very easily.
Yes.
And it's for girls. All the girls they like unicorn, for example.
Yeah, unicorn.
So if let's say the example that you are using or the materials that you are using is unicorn related, you already win their attention. You already got their attention span. So it's very easy for you to continue with the second and the third step. Yeah, so getting to know what is their learning interest is very, very important. But I believe this could be very tricky for the parents because like what we discussed previously, parents could be busy with work, occupied with house chores. How can we do this? How do we have extra time to do this? Yeah, so this is actually a very we understand the difficulty for the parents, but rest assured parents, because I have been doing this for many, many times for my kids, always is the first step that is hardest. Once we are able to get the attention and the children have the interest in the learning already, they themselves will find ways to learn. Yeah, they will be doing it by themselves. It will be a very automatically process for them to continue learning. Like when the children you've already got the attention, when there are discussions going on back and forth, they started to ask questions, they started to share their ideas, they started to share their thoughts. This is where the learning takes place. It's no longer a generation that we just spoon feeding information for the children. It's the generation that we have to equip them with different kind of tools so that they themselves is going to go and acquire the knowledge by themselves.
Yes, I agree so. One example, I encountered this before while I was teaching, right? So one time I got a material, like no picture at all, all the words. Yeah, the kids, all of them would be like, they were like something like not interested. Yeah, not interested. They are not showing that they like this so much. So another day I changed it to adventure. I put many adventure pictures over there and then try to teach in grammar. Yeah, so I put a fill in the blanks, and then who is your favorite adventure? Okay, my favorite adventure is, and then they will automatically, they will learn it. Yeah, because I trigger their interest to do things. Yeah, something they like. For like you say, the boy would like cars or maybe adventure, and the girls maybe unicorn and princess. Yeah, and another time they are like, oh, next week I'm looking forward to this class because there are some other things. Yes, something is going to be happen. Yeah, so I think, right, parents, maybe you are busy. If you try to put a little bit or just like a little bit of the effort, yeah, you can make a big difference on your children.
Yes. So one of another example that I would like to quote would be, because our children's over here is 3 to 4 years old, and the fundamental will be they have to recognize number. So once they recognize number already over here, our penmanship actually starts pretty late. Towards the end of the 4 years old only, they start to pick up the penmanship, which is a handwriting skills. When they are in 3, when they are in 4, we are not focusing on that. One of the reasons because their muscle is not fully developed yet. So there is no point for us to keep pushing them to write neatly, to write in a box. We are just trying to go against their developmental milestone, so we are not doing that. But what do we do instead of, okay, let me ask these questions to Jay first. If let's say, back to your study time, if your parents want you to know how to write number 1 to 5, what would they do?
Just write. Write until you get perfect.
Right until you know how to write, right? They will give you
just
a booklet,
write. Practice more. Why? Practice more.
Yes, they will keep saying practice.
Not just my parents. I heard a lot from my friends' parents as well.
They will just continue. You just write the whole page of 1, you will get it.
Right. And then you will get candy later.
Yes. This is a very, very traditional way of learning. Yes, you will definitely reach your learning objective, but what is the fundamental? The children will be getting bored in writing it again and again. They don't see the fun element here. In children's nature, they just want to play.
Yeah, they just want to play.
Yeah,
they want to complete
They
that.
want something that is very fun, and then for them, if let's say you just give them these whole worksheets of homework, what they want to do is, I just want to complete that. But in the meanwhile, we already defeated the purpose. We want the children to enjoy learning. We want the children to know how to write number 1. We want the children to master in number recognition. This is not the only way we can do.
So what do you suggest? I'm curious.
It's actually very, very simple. You all have rice at home, right? Then you can just get like a square container, and you just pour the rice on top, and you just show number 1 flashcard, and with the children to write with their fingers. So they will definitely practice again and again. It serves the same purpose, like writing on the paper. Yeah, but it is in a fun way. Yeah, so you get the 3 same objective, but fundamentally, children, they enjoy it very, very much. And they themselves, after today, they will ask, Mommy, can you give me the tray again? I want to write number 2. So this is actually what we practice in our school. The materials that I mentioned just now, right? Our teachers, we don't use that. But we just place it in one of the corners in our classroom. And every day when we say it's learning center time, so this was the first thing that the children will go and grab from the corner.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they will just practice it again and again.
Okay, I will do that if I
Yeah, you can use it next time.
Okay, so now everybody, okay, we got another question for 𝗷𝗿. 𝗷𝗿 saying, my son's Chinese quite poor. It's quite poor, so I keep asking him to study and read more Chinese story books, but he prefers to read English book instead. So what do you suggest, Rachel?
Yeah, over here, I wish I could talk face to face to the parents because this is what we always do in school.
Maybe imagine I'm
So, if let's say this parent is right in front of me, then the first thing I will be asking is that, what is the achievement that you want your children to be? And how far you want him to achieve in terms of Mandarin language, and what type of school that he is actually studying now. If let's say he is studying in a Chinese primary school, the local one, then I believe that there are more work has to be done in order for him to pick up the Chinese language, because it was a very important main subject in the school. So you need to create an environment like having him to speak more in Mandarin, then you can have more activities for him, and then books with flashcards, book with pictures. That is very, very interesting ways to get the attention with a lot of pictures.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
which it will be touching my next point, because the last point that I'll be saying is that children, they are a visual learner. They need to see something in order for them to learn.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pictures.
they have to, pictures is a very, very important visual aid, and other than that, there are many, many more. So in our school, we always start off the lessons with a story. So I believe if let's say the parents would like to practice Chinese with your parents, you can always start with a storytelling, or you can always start with a nursery rhymes, because this is the two elements that can get the attention very easily. Yeah, so with the story over there, then the children will be started to absorb, and then from there they are able to process. But language really takes time, and
Yes,
needs
I
a
agree.
lot of effort and environment for them to practice that.
Yeah, environment, and also
Yes.
whether the thing you are teaching is fun for them, the way, and also
Why are we wanted to use story? Because we always want to create a scenario that the children feel related.
Yeah.
If today I just teach the child 1 + 1 = 2,
Yeah.
but I didn't tell them that when is the occasion that we are able to use this, then the children will be confused. Whatever they know is just 1 + 1 = 2. But what if today I tell them, I have 1 apple and Jay have 1 apple, so how many apples do we have in total? So they will actually know, and then by just seeing the object, and also it will feel more relatable to them to solve the problems.
so try to make it like life related, right?
Yes, related to their life experience, and then make it, they are able to visualize. And then children, they are always very helpful, like the Indian boy story that I shared. All they wanted is, they just wanted to help, they just wanted to care, and they just wanted the attention. So the story that we created, it always comes with someone that is having an issue. So there is one subject that I have in my 3 years old class. It's Key to Learn. It's a construction class under Key to Learning module. So they are having a situation that they need to build a gate, but the gate that they are building, right, it's only fit the small car, and now there is a truck coming. So what can be done? What we need to do so that the truck can cross over the gate? Yeah, so I will give them a set of blocks, so the children, they will figure out themselves, and then they come up with the solutions to build a higher gate, to build a tall gate, so that they are able to help the truck to cross over, because the truck is definitely higher and wider. So from here, we are teaching them the concept of height, the concept of width, as young as 3 years old. They are able to understand the concept, and then moving forward, we will say, they are just 3, why they need to learn height, why they need to learn width? But this is just the entry level. When they are able to get the understanding, they are able to get the skill already. When they move on to primary, they move on to secondary, it comes very naturally. When they face the issue, they fix it. When they face the problem, they fix it. Or they can ask for help if, let's say, they really cannot.
So one day they became an adult, it could be like, just
It
solve
comes
the-
naturally.
It comes naturally.
Yeah, it will come naturally to them. Yeah, so the fundamental part is that we want to motivate the children to learn, and towards what extent the children themselves, when they learn, they don't even notice they're actually learning. The process just comes very naturally. Our 5 years old kids in Stella early years, they love worksheet. I believe this could be the trauma for some of the parents. You have to chase after the children, and then for them to finish up
I
the
couldn't
work.
believe that they would
Yeah,
love worksheet.
love worksheets, because we only have a very minimum time for them to do that. And most of the time, they will be moving around. We have stations in, we have a construction class, photography class for them to do painting. And they only have about 40 minutes maximum that they get to expose to worksheets.
Okay.
So our children, every time they have worksheet, they will quickly grab it and say, I want to do, and then they will quickly finish it,
couldn't
and they ask
believe
for more. They even ask for more. I want
Okay.
some more, I want some more to do. Do you have some more?
What's the secret? to make them feel this way.
Everything is have to have a moderation. If today you just let the children do worksheet all the time, they will get bored very easily. But if let's say you give and take, you let them to have other activity in between, and they will think that this is a very precious moment for
Like
them.
a treasure for them.
Yes, like if you go to Legoland every day, they will feel bored about it.
Yeah.
But if you just
I
go during
agree
their
so.
birthday,
Mm.
they will feel very, very happy about it.
Yeah, so it only appear like maybe once in a while.
It has to be very precious.
Okay. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
good way. Okay, I never expect that would be like working on this.
It could be until the extent that learning takes place automatically.
Okay, good way. Okay, every parents you can take on this. Okay, so right here, everybody. So if you have any questions, you can always put your comment below. Okay, and if you want your family and friends to know more how to motivate your kids to focus on their study, you may share our live out now and like our both page, 𝗬𝗪𝗁𝗲 and Stellar International School. So right here, yeah. So Rachel, what is the last one you want to mention about?
I think I was just making a summary about what are the truths
Yes,
that I mentioned
yes,
just now,
yes.
so that parents can quickly note it down.
Yeah, maybe some of
Yeah.
them just came in. Yeah, so
So
mention
in
it.
order for us to really boost our children's learning, fundamentally we have to know what is their strengths and weaknesses. Then only we know what are the areas that we can be working into. And then moving forward, once you already understand that, you can tap along with your children's interests. So what is your child preference? I believe that as a parents or as the teachers who has spent a long time together with your child, you can be more sensitive or you can be more proactive to approach your child and then to communicate with them so that you understand what are the needs, and then they also can understand what is the boundaries that you are coming from.
Yes.
Then lastly, what are the tools that you are using? Also very, very important. So you already know their interests. So the tools that you are using also have to be very interesting in order to get the kids' attention. Because like what I said, they are just kids. So whatever that they want is just play. If let's say you are tapping along on this, then you already like achieved about 80% of them already.
Okay. Got you. Okay, everybody. So I believe you're clear on this since Miss Rachel mentions all the points again in the summary. So right here, Rachel, since the audience haven't tell us their questions yet, maybe I will come up with the questions. Do you mind?
Sure.
So I'm curious about as I mentioned, right, I'm also teaching English for my online classes. So I wonder how could you handle those sleepy child? Maybe they would like probably fall asleep during your class time. Yeah, how would you handle that? I think you're a creative person, so I want to ask your advice.
Like what we covered previously, so the fundamental will be why the children fall asleep.
Why? Okay.
Yes. We also encounter some children who is fall asleep, even not in online class, during physical class they also can fall asleep.
Okay.
So what is the reasons behind? Did they get enough rest? Or did they have something too overwhelming before the lessons? Probably they go to like exercise class, they go motor skill class. Yeah, what is happens before and after? And after you understand what is the reasons behind already, then we will go down into the lesson structure. Is it being a very long time? And we used to do online learning previously. So what I did before my lesson was I would let them dance. I'll just let them dance, let them move along. Or if I notice any of them is started to feel bored, started to feel sleepy, then we'll get everybody to stand up. Then we'll play silent state.
Okay,
Through the
good
screen.
idea. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the activities that we did. But most importantly is the lesson structure, because we have to understand that our children's their attention span is not long.
Yes.
It
I agree.
it grows according to their age group. So if let's say it's only 4 and 5 years old children, the maximum lessons that we kept is only 15 minutes. And then before and after that, we are going to have something that's more interesting to get the attention. For example, like games, but at the same time, you also have to reach your learning objective.
I see. So you couldn't be like just focus on the material for more than like 1 hour. You have to take a break and maybe play some game.
It will be unfair for the child because it will be very overwhelmed in that level.
Yeah. So everybody, so try to think about this. I think right from your point, what I understand is we couldn't just like to decide and also to assume the kids.
Yes.
by our point of view because we are adults. Yeah, we are doing this way, but they are just a kid. So their mental.
Actually, for adults also the same. If let's say you imagine you are going to continue to work for 1 hour in the same thing, what would you feel?
Yeah, that's right. And it's impossible for the 3-year-old kids and also 5-year-old kids to do that. So taking a break and also having fun would be good. So thank you for sharing this. Okay, so we have another question from Lim. So Lim say, she asked if a kid while a kid is doing their homework, okay, while looking to the others, okay, maybe let me restructure the questions. Okay, maybe due to other kids' sounds. Okay, so it takes time to complete. Okay, so maybe she's mentioning about the distractions.
Yeah,
the distractions like looking at others and maybe there are other sounds from somewhere. Okay, so the kids probably need some time to complete their homework. How to get to solve this problem? Yeah, when you have these distractions.
Yeah, over here I think the parents already know what could be the possible trigger,
Yeah,
what could be the possible
we saw
distraction,
that, right?
which is the sounds from the surrounding.
Yeah, from the surrounding, other kids sounds. Maybe the
Yes,
brother is
yeah,
playing or
brother
sister
and
is playing.
Yeah, so actually,
Okay.
if let's say we put ourselves into the children's shoe, if let's say I'm doing homework, and then my brother and sister around me can get to play,
Yeah.
it would be actually very saddening that I don't get
I
to.
agree so.
So there are a few ways for us to do that. For example, if let's say your child needs to complete a homework, over here in our class, right, we always have a visual timetable. So we will list out for the children to see when they come into the classroom, what's the first thing we do, after that what's the second, what's the third, and what's the next, until it's time for us to go home.
So you have the whole schedule for them?
Yes, we have the schedule, and then we listed it down on the whiteboard, and every time during home time we'll go through with the children. So this is the first, second, third, and then after that they will go home. And then we will even pinpoint and discuss what are the rules and regulations we have to follow in each sessions. So we go through everything beforehand, and then we get them prepared, then only we start that day.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will advise mommy to, I'm not sure, like the parents to do something similar. So probably if let's say it's homework time, right, to be fair to the kid, the older kid and also the younger siblings, we can have a sessions that could be a learning station sessions. So everybody will be sitting on the round table and then they get to have something to work on. It could be as simple as coloring book, and then it could be as simple as they get a board and then they just draw. Because children, some of them they like drawing, and they can spend a long time in doing that, in creating arts. So there could be a session that everybody is sitting down, so they will have the same environment. For them to complete the task. And like what I suggested previously, we can have the sandwich model. So we already let the children know that this is the session we have to do homework. So what do you want to do before? And what do you want to do after? And I have a good tips for parents. After the children come back from school, right? The first thing that we always wanted to do is to check their bag, get them to finish their homework, and then they can play all day. This is what we tell them. You finish now, you have longer time to play. But for children, what intention we have and what intention they have is very different. For them, they already been sitting in school for such a long hour, and they need to have the distress.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can get them to have a play station, then only continue with their work, and then move on with another one. So the kind of less interested one is in the middle, so they can have something to look forward to.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So it's not just about like one thing to set that. There are many.
Yeah, there are many aspects that you can look into, and with the routine being set up right, there will be one day that you just put the routine up, and the children will be filling in, the others get by themselves, and then they will just finish everything.
So independent.
It becomes their habits already.
Yeah. Okay. This is a good idea. You have a schedule for them. Get the environment fixed. Get the brother and sister coming to sit together and maybe draw something together, or maybe put the children to another room, far away a little bit from their siblings.
Yeah, or you can, because you know your children the best, so you will know that there could be a time that the younger sibling is napping, or there could be some of the time they will be not around. So you can actually talk to your older kids or the one that needs to complete homework that this is going to be the best time for you to do. Why? We lay out all the consequences, we lay out all the ideas, then we discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being a mommy and daddy is not easy.
Yeah, you need to have a lot of like debating sessions with your kids.
Yeah.
Because for kids, right, they are actually developing in their brain that they would like to gain more and more authority in their life. But at the same time, we need to let them know that whatever that you want to try to do, I understand, but there is a boundary and there's a limit.
So always have to communicate with your kids, not just like order them to do this. So try to be their friend and also try to understand them.
Yeah. This is very important actually for a parent and also a teacher, right? We are actually not a referee. We are not like having a whistle and then showing around saying that this cannot do, that cannot do, this is something that's not right. The children actually don't want that. Something is missing over here, as in they don't know what they need to do. You are just pointing it out at what they cannot do, but what they need to do, they don't know. So we have to be their partner, we have to be their friends, to sit down together and discover what are the things that we can do and what are the things that we cannot do, and then why.
Wow, I learned a lot from Rachel today. Okay, I will apply this, okay, in my online classes and also teaching my nephew.
Yeah, you can try.
Okay, so Juan got another question. She asked, or he asked, I'm not sure. Okay, so because I couldn't see the screen, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your gender. Okay, so if the kid is always aggressive, pinch people. Okay, when he does not get what he wants, what should we do? Okay, maybe some people will be like, pinch other people, and some people will do like this. Some kids.
It will be clarifying this as throwing tantrum. Throwing tantrum.
Yes.
And over here it's also the same. The 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗃 already know the root cause. Like it's because he doesn't get what he wants. Same goes to adults. If you really don't get what you wanted, for example, today you wanted to go for a concert and then you are trying very hard to get a ticket, but now you don't get, what is the feelings that it's going to happen in your heart? It's actually the same for the children. But over here, what is lacking is that the children don't have the coping mechanism. They have the big feelings inside their heart, but how are they going to moderate it? How are they going to navigate the feeling and then to go towards the correct direction to release it out? So what we can tell the children is that I know you are very upset. I know this is the thing that you don't get, then why are you not getting it? So for example, he wants the car toy in the toy shop and then he don't want to go, he was screaming and then pinching the 𝗵𝗵𝗁. Then we can explain to him, you are getting many cars in the house already. And then what about we go back and then we choose, is there any house that you want to let go to other friends? Then only we get a new one. So same goes to like the previous model, we negotiate with them. Yeah, we can tell them, we can understand them. But if let's say the children that are having a very high emotion breakdown, my advice would be just let them calm down first. Because whatever that you speak during that time, they are already losing their mind. They will not be able to listen and they will not be able to get the point from you. So just get them to calm down first. And the easiest way to calm them down is through hug. You just need to give them physical touch, holding their hand, hug them, and you check whether are they ready to talk or are they ready to speak up.
Okay, I got you. So I need our back end to help us to to fix the light. Okay, maybe a little bit darker. So Rachel, while waiting for them, we may continue the topics. What you suggest is quite useful, I guess. And also one thing, okay, for myself, right? I encountered once like, okay, I heard that nephew wasn't quite close to me. I only maybe see him once a year. And then I heard from my mom, she mentioned that this kid actually tried to did vandalism on the table at school. So, and also try to spoil something. Maybe he took someone's pencil case and he broke it. Just for fun. So what I did, I'm not sure whether this is okay or not. So what I did, I asked him back. Okay, my mom was like, why are you doing this? I will report to the police that you did that again. You do that again. So for myself, I use another way. I'm not sure this will not. I asked him, Yeah, if I spoil your things, would you be happy? Would you be happy? How do you feel? He say, I would be angry and I would be sad. And then I ask him, then why are you doing this to people? Yeah. If you are doing this, you don't want people to feel sad. Yeah, you will be the one to be angry. Okay. What about others? If you do this, yeah, what is your suggestions? Do you think this is okay?
Actually, that is very good. As in, like, if the children is mature enough, they are able to understand like what you say when you are asking him back, and he's able to answer you that what is the feelings that he's going to have. But what if we are having younger children like 3 years old? They will not understand.
Yeah, they will not
because
understand at all.
Their ego is very high during that stage or in the early of form. So there could be other suggestions, probably that we still point out to the why. So why are they doing that? A lot of times when children they are trying to like they're going to break something, they're going to like destroy something. First of all, it's they wanted to get the attentions from the adults because they know that when they're kids, they are going to get attentions. But secondly, is that the children have extra energy. So if they have extra energy, what can we do? We can create a place that is purposely for them to destroy. We have a similar stations over here in our classroom because our boys are very, very aggressive. So we have a place that we get the soft blocks, so the children are able to build out the blocks, and then they just throw the ball. So when they see the blocks is falling down, it's actually very satisfying for them. So we tell them that where is the places that they can destroy, where is the places that they can't.
Shouldn't would be.
Yes. So we help them to identify. You really wanted to do this? Then we set up a place for you.
Maybe they just need a place to finish that energy.
Yeah. And then it's very therapeutic for children to see maybe like the building is falling down. It's part of the sensorial because it's actually train up their 𝗂𝗊𝘂𝗃 skill. They know that when they push, the things is going to fall down. It's part of the learning process for them actually. It's not that they are trying to be a naughty kids, be a bad kids, but it's just part of them when they are developing. Yeah, so another point would be for the drawing part. So if let's say they really want to draw around, why not you just create a place like with the margin paper sticking around and then let them draw.
I see. Wow, I didn't know that there are so many ways to solve that problem, and also there are many things we have to learn in education, especially in educating our kids from 3 years old to 5 years old until I met Rachel today. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, there's so many ways that I couldn't expect we could do that. Okay, so everybody, we can take note on this. If you just enter this, maybe later on you can play it back. It could be useful in your daily life, parenting journey. Okay, this is the first episode. Maybe we have second one in the future. Okay, so another audience. Okay, can I use reward to calm him down? For example, buying ice cream or his favorite snack.
This was a continuity from the previous questions that talk about aggressive.
Yeah,
talk about throwing tantrum. Actually, that could be a risky point over here, as in the children could be misinterpret what is the reasons for getting a reward. So if let's say they are crying and then you are giving him an ice cream just to calm him down, then he will know that next time if you want ice cream, you just continue to cry. Yeah, so it actually doesn't solve the problem, but you can definitely reward your child, but we can give them some of the rewards that it's not too materialistic. For example, the one that I mentioned, like we can give him a hug, we can give him verbal compliments, we can tell him that good job, you did a good job. Why is that good? Because you are trying very hard to control yourself. So once you achieve that, only we give them the rewards.
Okay.
Yeah, so the sequence of your ice cream and your snacks coming in is actually very crucial.
Okay.
So you have to explain to him that I'm going to give you rewards now. After he calm down, then you tell him that why am I giving you this? Because you are trying very hard to control your emotions and control yourself.
But not like giving every time, right?
Yes, not like giving it to just let him calm down. So the sequencing itself,
so maybe in the future it could be happen again. Just want to take ice cream, then throw in the tantrum. Oh, I calm down again, I can get ice cream.
Yes, yeah. Because kids are smart, and for kids, right, their nature is to challenge our boundaries.
Yes.
It's their learning process. They need to know how far they can go, and there's nothing wrong about it.
To get attention.
Their nature is to get attention and to challenge our boundary.
Okay. So that is a good point, everybody. So we really learned a lot from Rachel today. So the next questions we have, are there any way to encourage children or teenagers to try out and learn new things? Okay, so today's our main point here will be 3 years old
More
to more focus on 3 to 5 years old. But if you don't mind, you can share on this.
If for trying new things, right, actually it also happens a lot of time in school, because for children, the moment that they step into school is really a new environment. The moment that they engage friends, everybody is new and the whole environment is new as well. So what we can do is that, first of all, we need to give them some time to adapt. Yeah, and before that, right, we can actually give them a lot of what we say role play. You can let them know what could be the possible encounters that when you go on or when you try the new things, what could be the possible things that happen, or if this happens, what you can be done. So we mentally prepare them first, and before letting them try. Same goes to adult. If today you want me to walk into the crowd of like strangers that I don't know, I also need some time to like digest myself and make that, oh, it's okay, I'm just going to meet new people. So I need to talk to myself first before I go into. So for children, they don't have these skills, this coping mechanism yet. So parents need to help to equip them, to prepare them, telling them that what is the possibility that they could be expect from the new things.
Okay, good to know. So another questions, okay, from Ryan. Okay, I have a nephew. He just started learning music, specifically guitar, but he finds it difficult to play the instruments. And there are signs of loss of interest. I'm not sure if I should encourage him to keep playing or try to climb over the initiate wall, or just let him try something else. Or just wonder when should we draw the line, whether if we should keep encouraging or decide it's just not for him. So should we continue or should we like?
Yeah, actually this is a very, how to say, there will not be a definite answer for this because it changes from time to time, and especially for young children. And I believe that if, let's say, he's able to pick up guitar, that could be probably around 5 to 6 years old. Yeah, so if, let's say, today these instruments, we have to go down to check with him, is it what he really wants to do? Yeah, is it what he's interested? Did he like this musical instrument? Or what can be done is that we can do a guitar performance, and then we can see very easily, does he has any interest from there? Yeah, then only we decide whether should we keep on encouraging or should we keep on continue. It could be the possibility that he loves guitar, just that the process is too hard.
Could be that.
Yeah, it could be like the process is just too hard so that he couldn't continue and it's too overwhelming for him to continue. So we can break down into a smaller pieces that I know this is hard, but I'm going to be here with you and I'm going to give you whatever support when you need it. So we give them a lot of assurance. But in another case, if let's say the children is not having any interest in learning guitar, so my advice is that we identify their strengths and weaknesses. So if let's say this is really not a piece of cake for him, then probably we can opt for something else.
So needs to take time a little bit to know the children better, not just 1 to 2 days.
I have a kid that is learning musical instrument also. So he's very, very close to me. And this little girl, she's only age of 4, and she requested to her parents say that she wanted to learn piano. She wanted to learn piano. She keep on nagging to her mommy, say, I want to learn piano, I want to learn piano. The reason because there is a piano at home, and mommy was a pianist. So she wanted to learn, but then due to pandemic,
her interest.
Yes. It was in her strength, and she has an environment. Yeah, so she keep on requesting, and until a few months ago, she started to learn. She started to attending piano class, and we see a lot of amazing things happens on her. as young as 4, she's the one that she initiated, she want to practice piano. Me, myself, I learned before, and I know how tough it is, I give up halfway.
I believe
So I know like the whole process, and it's not easy for a 4-year-old kid and sit in front of the instruments and continue to practice again and again. So learning musical instruments really needs a lot of interest from the children. The children have to be initiated first, then only we like propose or only we sign up for the classes. Yeah.
Okay, so I believe everybody, you have a clear mind on how to motivate your children on learning things. So here comes to the end of our life. Okay, thank you, Miss Rachel, for sharing so much thing for us. Okay, because very helpful. Okay, today I really learned a lot, and hopefully I can be a perfect teacher and also a good father in the future. Okay, so everybody, here comes to the end. So right here, everybody just want to announce. Okay, the future event we are right here. We are running a lucky draw section. So you can go to our Facebook page and see our cover photos. You will be seeing the lucky draws, how to join it, and also when you buy our products, we can scan on it. Okay, we call it as top scan prize. So the top scan prize, we have 2 prizes to win. The first one will be announcing on November. You will get a laptop if you are the number 1 person who scan each product by unit. And the second one is the mysterious prize. So we are going to win that, and I'm not sure what is that. So if you scan as much as possible, then you will win that. And also the last one will be the lucky draw. The end day will be 31 December. So the total value is up to 42,260 ringgit. So do not miss the chance. So thank you so much for joining our live today. I hope to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
I guess we will have second episode.
Thank you for your
so
time.
Much. Yeah, thank you for your time too. Thank you. See you next time.
See you.
See you, the audience. Bye bye.